The Super Bowl Preach-Off, a long-standing tradition at Church 180 that pits two men against each other in a battle of biblical proportions, literally. This year's contest will be no different, as three-time Preach-Off contender Paul "The Beard" Peterson tries to bounce back from last year's defeat as he faces off against the newcomer Joe "Fone" Call. Last year's event was filled with drama as the game went down to the wire and was won in overtime on the controversial dance-off call. This year's event is already heating up and looks to not disappoint as an intense rivalry is forming by this year's participants, with information that has been brought to light about Fone Call's involvement in last year's controversy, which has blown this feud wide open. And if the rivalry wasn't intense enough already, the latest controversy where only New Testament Bibles were delivered to the Beard's facility and has become known as the Flata Bible. Recently, a person of interest has come forward.
I received an anonymous phone call and was instructed to bring the deflated Bibles to Paul "The Beard" Peterson's office.
But hasn't shed much light on the subject, which has left one man searching for answers.
Paul, how do you feel about recent events that have come to light?
I don't have a lot to say. All I know is I'm supposed to be teaching from the Old Testament. The New Testament's the only thing I have. That's all I got.
Do you think it's done intentionally?
I don't know, man. That's all I got. I gotta go.
One man defending his honor.
I've grown up in the church. I've been preaching for a couple of years now. I was raised by a Christian family, having many ministers in my family line. Should be clear indication that I had nothing to do with these accusations or charges. I have not touched the Beard's Bible. Perhaps there was a shipping malfunction.
What do you say to your critics that say that you did this to gain some kind of upper hand?
At no time was there any intent to compromise this preach-off.
Is it true that your grandfather used to work for Publishing?
That's all I have time for, thank you.
Phone call, phone call, phone call, phone call.
And this powder keg set to critical mass. This contest has been a year in the making, and it's now time to find out if this year is the year of the Beard or if victory is just a phone call away. It's time for the Super Bowl Preach-Off 3.